And we're back. It's still us. We're still cute and black. Very that.
Yes.
And now we're getting a more of a chance to get to know our guest, AMINAH Imani, a little bit more about her career, about her thoughts, about why she even agreed to do the show, to check in, see if she's good or not good. So my very first question for our guest segment this week is actually inspired by a paper that I had to write in high school. So when I was in AP Lang and AP Language in high school, one of our papers for the final exam, for the AP exam, was about comedy. And the question was, what like social role or what social responsibility do comedians have for us, especially here in America? And, you know, I was giving them, this was 2000, like early aughts. So I was giving them Cat Williams. I was giving them, you know, all that stuff. But I would love to hear, like, you as someone who's currently working stand-up. We'll have to talk about it, about legality, but currently working stand-up, what do you believe is the social role, or is your social role as a comedian?
I feel like my social role is to make people feel good. To make people feel good. I feel like oftentimes, even from older comedians and veterans, they'll explain it to you. You know, when we all come into a room and we all sit amongst each other, it's almost as if like it's group therapy, right? So we have all our issues. We got a whole lot of problems. You know, we probably was stressed out from maybe a conversation we just had seconds ago. And so to be in that space of comedy means to make none of that matter, you know? It's like, you know, you're a dancer, you going to the dance class, they be like, you can't come in here trying to dance with all your stress and drama. They be like, leave it at the door and come in here, and we're gonna fill the space with creativity. And so that's my job, is to fill the space with laughter and make people feel good, even in spite of, you know.
Yeah. And in the meantime, getting to prod at topics and stuff that people don't normally get to say in a room.
Yeah, well, most of the time, oftentimes I'm talking about myself and I'm telling people about my life, and in a way we connect through the laughter. So we connect and relate on, you know, an array of topics, but that's the whole idea, is the connection.
Right. So pulling from your life to create your comedy, to create your stand-up, you're a mom. You're a mom, which I have to point out, as much as I love kids and that I have met you in person, got my hair braided. It's real cute. Y'all look at my Instagram. I mean, it does good work. But he was not there when I got there, and I heard so much about him from Kayla. I was like, oh, so I don't get to meet my friend today. But that's fine. But you're a mom. No, it's okay. Next time. So I'm curious, because you do pull from, even watching your work, you pull from your personal life. It's not like you're just taking news stories mostly. You're pulling from your personal life for a lot of your content. So I know, of course, being a mom will change your material as an artist for sure. But has being a mom changed your style of comedy at all?
I wouldn't say it changed my style, because I've always been an observer and I've always talked about my life and my family. I feel like if anything, it only has enhanced it. You know, there's a certain level of maturity when you have the responsibility of another human being. And so a lot of people share that understanding too. So I think it's only like grown my connection with other people, but also broadened my perspective on life. You know what I mean? Because to go from, you know, being yourself and only being responsible for you, that's a huge, complete difference from now doing that for someone else. And so, I, you know, and some people will even say like, oh, you got funnier when you became a mom, blah, blah, blah. But I also attribute that to the fact that, you know, when you do become responsible for someone, you really give less concern about what anybody else says. And so that's what it really means to be on stage. When you're on stage, you're true to your voice, you're true to who you are, and it's not about what someone else says. This is your voice, this is your story. So I think it only amplified that, if anything.
Right. And that's how I as an audience member, can hear, even when you're not performing, that you're talented at what you do, that it's a natural gift for you, because people, you know, don't always start the conversation about comedy and talk about truth telling, or, you know, sharing plainly or stuff like that. But that is just so resolute in you that this is what I'm saying. It just happens to be funny. I think it's very telling about people who haven't gotten to know your work yet that are actually getting to know it right now because she working.
Yes.
She working.
I'm out here. My friend called me Tommy the other day. Shout out to him. He said, "What job, Tommy?" I said, "Don't do that. Don't do that. Come on, it's a pandemic."
Also, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Tommy always look clean and
right. Don't he? Okay, rent paid, is it not?
What's up?
But so also as a comedian, we see, especially now in the social media era, we're quick to cancel people, and comedians often get the brunt of that because of their role and because of what they're used to saying, what they're used to getting away with that's not socially acceptable anymore, and also because comedy is dominated by men. Telling them no, you can't talk about this turns into a whole frenzy because now it's an attack on my career. Yeah, whatever. But like as a self-proclaimed like honest, truthful storyteller that uses comedy, what about this moment in history, like between the pandemic, between inauguration, between that orange man flying away 4 hours early and not staying for whatever, what about this like truly isn't funny to you? Like, what about this moment just isn't funny, and that's the truth of it? Like, it's not good. Like, it's not going right. It's not going to act like it's.
It's rare that I don't find things funny. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm all for, even if you're talking about the darkest times of your life, if that's your truth and your personal story, and you're making light of it, I think that is funny. Now, when people attack other people for, their handicap or things that they can't control, that's when I don't think it's funny. I think that's where we have to draw the line. And as much as people try to attack cancel culture per se, we do have to recognize that a lot of things that were okay in the past are no longer okay. Like I just was listening to DMX album and I'm like, how was he even?
Yeah. And we were receiving that. Like we were receiving that. And
girl, like immediately after the first track, we should have checked him in somewhere. Like he is clearly, like a loose boat. And so I am, to answer your question, I don't really think a lot of things are off topic to not laugh at. I think right now, I was just having a conversation in my group chat, is you better not come for a Black woman. And that's just on period. And even if you feel she just got it because she Black or she mediocre or whatever, I'm like, white people been out here being mediocre for centuries. So
for centuries.
If a Black girl want to call it magic that she just standing on the highway with a sign up, I'm with her calling it, Black girl magic. So
and a difference that I believe exists is that even if that's true, even if the access or ease of access, which is never going to be the same, so why was that conversation thing? But even if that ease of access were greater than other Black women or something like that, what I find to be true with the majority of Black women I know, which growing up in a Black ass area and going to a Black ass school and doing Black ass productions my whole life, I know to be true from my environment, is that even if that's the case, if you check her, she either going to change it or she's not. But she's not going to lie to you about whether she's going to change it or not.
Right.
And that's a difference.
Yes. So that's what I will say. But I do feel like even for me, I get a little weary of like, what can I say? What can I not say? But I think that's the beauty of comedy as well. I talk about now fat shaming and how fat shaming was something that my family, that was a part of my family's culture. Like literally someone could like have one leg and still be making fun of someone who is fat. Like that's just and that's not okay now. Like that's not something to do. But when you're raised that way all your life, it's like, it's going to take some time for you to adjust and not think that that's normal. And I think that some people, we all just have to have a little flexibility. Some people are downright hateful and rude. And so that needs to be checked as well. But also make sure you stay around a good group of friends. Like, I feel like my friends do a good job at checking me, saying like, oh, you can't say that. And this is why. So I think most important, as you do grow as a comedian and do think about cancel culture, diversify who you're around. And then that will only make yourself grow an awareness to be, and not even like, oh, they're sensitive, but just to be more aware of how your words can affect someone else.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of diversify, you are in the midst of diversifying your audience and sharing your
Okay, you hear
words.
me?
Okay. Sharing your words on the Hulu. Okay. She's streamable. She's streamable. So you're one of your latest projects. I'm not gonna say your latest because I know you probably done 3 things since y'all wrapped. The last thing you did with that. But one of your latest projects is Up Early Tonight, right? On Hulu.
Yes.
What specifically are you really excited about in this project now that it's out, now that it's available, now that everyone needs to go on Hulu and watch it? What are you
Right.
most excited about with this project?
Well, I'm most excited about more opportunities. You know, work begets work. When people see your resume and see you doing things, that gives them more, motivation to want to work with you. So I'm excited about that. But also, I've been working with Scary Mommy as a company for now like maybe 2 years, and so they've always kept me employed. This was a huge highlight for it to land on Hulu. But I'm most excited because, as you see, there is a wave of not only women comedians but Black women comedians getting the shine that we've probably deserved eon years ago. You know what I'm
Who's
saying?
funnier
Like
than a
not
Black
even
woman?
not even to go with Monique, and when she was like, "I love us for real," I stand with her. Also, just to let people know. But just that is what I'm most excited about is seeing a space open for where I see potential for my career to grow and develop. You know what I mean? Like women are still making history. Like Amanda Seales was the first Black woman to get a special on HBO. You know what I'm saying? I had a podcast with Amanda Seales. So we talk about 6 degrees separation. And that's what I'm most excited about. The ample amount of opportunities that are not going to just be for one specific person. It's going to be an array of opportunities for all types of women. And so to be on that show, to be Black, to be a comedian, for it to be a one take shawty event. I just want to let y'all know that we hit it and quit it. I didn't even know the topics of discussion. So I was even impressed with my work. Like, oh, I see why people hire comedians to have these type of conversations, because they're not only lighthearted, but they're fun. And we didn't have to put that much work in. Okay. Testing, testing,
And the
1, 2, 3. Do
pace.
you
And
hear
the
me?
pace. They don't have to.
And yes. And so that's what I'm most excited about. Working more. I love to work. I do. People call me a Jamaican, and my family's Panamanian, so calm down. But I'm sure we're all connected in some way.
Your cousins, sure.
But I love to work. I love to make people laugh. And even when I was on set, it was amazing how I wasn't familiar with everyone, but they were familiar with me and how I made them feel. And that's just what I want to continue my career to be. Like when people hear of AMINAH, when people think of AMINAH, it's a, oh, that's, AMINAH, wow,
Yes.
that's the homie, you know. And so I love to spread that type of joy. And I'm a giver, and I feel like that only showed how I not only give to my son, but I give to other mothers. Like it's necessary to be amongst mothers and form a community. So that's I'm excited. I'm glad that every year, like the year before that, I was at the Apollo and my name was on the kiosk in Harlem where I live. And then now fast forward to 2020 where I thought it was doomsday and I was like, my career is over. You know, I make my debut, my first paid debut television appearance. And so nothing but good vibes and love.
Nothing but good vibes. And I really do believe that that's just a manifestation of, you say you love to work, but I feel like you going on set and not being so familiar with the workings of set, but everyone being so excited to have you there and welcoming of you is a manifestation of who you are and how you work. Yeah. Because it didn't have to be that way. Every set isn't like that. But because you know who you are and what you bring, and because all of that is good vibes only, then that is reflected in who you and with whom you work. And you know, the
I needed that. I needed that day. I remember when I was considering not showing up because I was just like in a space of like, when I get a little sad, I'm like, oh, I'm going to spoil the mood. So I'd rather just like turn inside and not let anybody, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, right?
Yeah.
But thank God that I found the motivation to get up and go, because I really needed that reminder of who I was and who people know me as. So I'm
Yes.
just grateful. I'm just grateful.
And now your son can go to school and be like, "Did you see my mommy on TV?" Because
Yes,
she was
yes,
on
yes. I
TV.
know he is so inspired. I think that's the best part. I think that's the best part of everything that I do. And I remember before I became a mother, I was considering not doing comedy. I was like, I'm just going to get a regular job, be an adult, take care of my son, not thinking that that could be in the same space of me following my dreams. And I think that's the best part of what I do is my son don't even think I work. Hey, everybody think I'm Tommy
No,
out here. He
he
said,
said.
"You
He said,
work?"
"Oh, but I'll put you to work though. I'll put you to work.
But
This is work."
but obviously there's something to be said that even when you're working and you're having fun, just like how I am as a mom, people like you make it look so easy, and it is not
Yeah.
at all, right? But I think that just attributes to the love that I have for what I do. So that's the
Yeah.
best part. Seeing my son see exactly what I do, what I get up for, and when I leave the house, this is what mommy's doing. That's the best part of it all.
Yeah. That's dope. I mean, I think well, my
Yeah.
mama and I we went to the Today Show and by the gate, and Al Roker talked to us for a couple seconds, but I think that's the time I saw her on TV.
Yeah.
I think that was it. But she's great. She's pretty and she's funny. So if somebody want to hire my mama, she probably won't do it, but she
Girl,
she
it
would be
ain't, let me
good.
tell you something. It ain't nothing. It could be, it's trillions of mothers, and it ain't never gonna be a mother like
Trillions of
your own. It
mothers.
ain't gonna never be a mama
Never,
like your own. And that's
never,
just
not
on that.
ever.
And I think that's
Nope.
the beauty of motherhood. And my son looks at me every day. He tells me, I'm proud of you, mommy.
Oh,
I know. It's the sweetest thing ever. I don't
yeah.
know what's gonna happen when he
And
get
he
older.
means it because
I
kids don't
pray.
lie unless they in
I
trouble.
pray. I be like, I pray. I hope you stay this sweet. I say that. I hope you. I hope you stay that, because that man love me. And I'm like, when he get older, he be
Yeah.
like,
Right.
move, mom, get out my way. I don't want no kisses.
See, I doubt it. Maybe like 11 to 14, but that only then.
We'll
Only then
see.
he'll get over it.
We'll see. We'll
Um,
see.
we'll see. We'll see.